Rain, rain, go away. It's gonna come back another day. What's up guys, Dan here, Coalcracker Bushcraft. Beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. If you've been following me the last few videos, you know that it is just different every single day that I come out here. One day it's snowing, next day extreme high winds, rain, heat, freezing cold, heat, snow, sleet. It just goes on and on and on. It's really mixing me up. But today, right now, is really, really nice. You can see I even have a t-shirt on and all that good stuff. But this morning, that was not the case. It was torrential downpours, like driving rain. The rain was actually going this way at one point, and it was pretty bad. So everything is soaking wet. And guess what? If you are an outdoor goer, you're going to experience this at some point. You're going to have to deal with wet conditions. Hopefully not the rain coming down, but you know, that's just part of it. And if the rain goes away, great. Maybe it's the weekend and it was your weekend to go camping and everything is soaked. Now what are you going to do? Like, a lot of questions there to be answered. So a lot of people ask this question. They say, listen, you camp with a tarp. Like, what are you supposed to do? The ground's wet. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to get wet leaves and all this. So there's a lot of different options. Option number one is to take some type of ground mat along with you for wet conditions. So we use typically a very traditional item called a gum blanket. It's rubberized on one side, cotton canvas on the other. You lay the rubberized side down and you lay on top of it. But you can also use like inflatable pads, folding foam pads, or roll-up foam pads. All of that stuff works really good. And you can even use a garbage bag. Those things, they're not the best, but they will block the moisture from getting to you. So all different options out there. But you know, here at Coalcracker, we're full of tricks, and you have to know how to use your equipment and gear to its maximum potential. So that's what we're going to show you today. So behind me, you can see I have an oilcloth tarp set up. We're big fans of oilcloth tarps. Number one, we make them, but more so because they're super robust and they are just absolute bomb-proof units. They come in all different sizes. So generally, we set them up in lean-to configurations, but there's a lot of other stuff that you can do. But if it is wet out and you don't have a ground mat and you have your oilcloth tarp, okay, first option is just lay your tarp down and sleep on top of that. I've done that a ton of times out here, but if it's like today, I think the rain's gone, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to take a chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to lose some of our footprint. That is some of the tarp covering, all right, space. We're going to lose a little bit of that, but we're going to gain some ground mat. And that, my friends, is going to look just like this. So this is an 8x8 tarp, all right. When it is set up that there is no ground covering, it's big. There's lots of room. I'm a big guy, and I still fit under it. This is what I generally use the majority of the time. But what you're going to notice here is that I have this down on the ground, and this is actually an extension of the tarp. So all that I did was I still set my tarp up the same. Just make sure you drop your ridge line a little bit lower. Half of the tarp, so 4 foot, is back to the ground, and then the other 4 foot comes out as my ground cloth. So now I can lay down in here. I'm still protected, okay? I just don't have as much room on the inside, but now I do have a ground mat for myself. And in weather conditions like this where the ground's wet, that is going to be a little bit more important in having a lot of cover over me. Now, with cover like this, the first thing people think right away is, well, I'm going to get wet. You're not going to get wet in there. If you set the tarp up correctly, that the back of the tarp takes on the wind, you're going to be fine. And if it takes on the wind, that's generally the direction the rain's going to come. Even that driving rain that goes in this way, it's going to be good to go. So this is a great option for you, but let me show you the backside. All right, so as I was explaining, we take the center seam and we just run that as our ground seam now, and then the rest of it kicks underneath. So really, really easy setup here. I just used my side tie outs here as we come down one of those loops. The center loop, that's staked down to the ground, same on this side. And then another important thing with this setup is that you make sure you stake out these front loops also, because generally what happens is you move around, this starts to slide back overnight, and you don't want to wake up back on the wet floor. The whole goal here was not to be on the wet forest floor. So stake these front out, that way when they pull, this isn't going to go anywhere. So if you like this video, hit like and subscribe down below. You can also check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our classes, our blog, and our merchandise, and these cool tarps that we make. And I think that's it. All right, so hopefully the rain holds out. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Until the next video, stay in the woods.